First of all, I would like to welcome on stage Sarah Lane, who is head of our video, and you'll see on a Crunch report every day, and with her, Arianna Huffington, the founder of Huffington Post. Over to you, Sarah and Arianna.
Hi, everybody. Right here, Ms. Huffington. Just got her new book, The Sleep Revolution, which is going to be great since I'm jet-lagged and don't know how to sleep. Hi, Arianna,
Hi.
Welcome.
What a fantastic space.
I think
Really
so, too.
incredible.
We have such a good group here. And this is my first time meeting you, which is funny because we both work for AOL.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Good to have you. I know you're a Davos veteran, and like Mike Butcher mentioned, we're kind of winging it a little bit. TechCrunch has never been here before. We're trying to fit in with world leaders, but we're a humble tech blog. It's funny, just a few minutes ago before we got on stage, I read a tweet from a rival publication, not HuffPo, that said, Davos is just a glorified TED Talk, right? Nothing substantive or notable has ever been accomplished there, correct? How do you respond to that?
Incorrect. I think Klaus Schwab has been amazing at being ahead of trends. Like when I launched the Huffington Post in 2005, and everybody was dismissing it, as a blog by people who couldn't get a job and were blogging. Remember, from their parents' basement in their pajamas? Remember that rap?
I do.
You're too young to remember.
Well,
Klaus
thank you,
Schwab
but
was one of the first people who reached out to me to take me to lunch and invite me to Davos.
Mm-hmm.
He understood that the digital revolution, including blogging, was not a passing fancy, but here to stay. His new book, which is the theme of Davos, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, again shows that he realizes that we are in a new reality where automation, constant connectivity, accelerated change are here to stay.
Right.
And that's why I think Davos has managed to continue to be relevant, despite the fact that so much has changed since he launched Davos, because he's always ahead of the trends and knows what's in the zeitgeist.
Right. The U.S. is coming into a very interesting election year. 2016 is going to shake out. It's going to be interesting no matter how it ends. We are far away from home as far as the U.S. is concerned. How much is that a topic of the kind of people that you're hanging out with at Davos? Because I know you have some thoughts on this as well.
It's a big topic, and I think my concern, and this is the concern of a lot of people here, is that extremism is everywhere at the moment. In every country in the world there are extremist candidates. The problem in our country is that media, excluding us, are mainstreaming extremism. Like for us, we are covering Trump differently. Donald Trump, for the first few months of his campaign, was covered by the Huffington Post in the entertainment section, because we considered him a buffoon that we would cover in the entertainment section. The day that he told the world that if he became president, or actually he says when he becomes president, a humble brag, he was going to stop all Muslims from entering the United States,
right.
We started covering him as a clear and present danger. Because that's what he is. Because that policy proposal is so un-American, it's so against all our values, that I believe all of us in the media have a responsibility to keep reminding the public again and again that this is a completely alien candidate compared to what the American experience is like.
So when you're having these conversations at Davos, and I know that we've got a really nice crowd here, but a lot of stuff is happening at sort of secret meetups that none of us know about and certainly aren't invited to. How much are you trying to shape the future of these problems as you've laid them out?
Well, actually, the main future I'm trying to shape right now is people getting more sleep. Because I think Davos is an unbelievably sleep-deprived part of the world right now. But what is interesting, and again, that's why Davos is relevant. Do you know, I got an email like 2 hours ago from WEF, from the official Davos establishment, which was a sleep survey of the world. I mean, I thought it was a joke. No, it's a real thing. They actually did a sleep survey that shows that people spend more time on their digital devices than sleeping, and that 50% of them think that's not a good idea, that it's actually a waste of time. So I think it's really interesting to look at the relationship between technology and taking care of ourselves.
Right.
Because obviously we are all addicted to technology.
Yeah.
So how can we put it in its place and not on our nightstand? That is a key, guys. The most important thing I can say here is do not charge your phones by your bed.
So in the tech world, we know that soda's bad. Get more sleep. That will be more effective.
Charge your devices
Charge your
away
devices
from your bedroom.
outside the bedroom.
And then track your sleep. I'm wearing my Jawbone app.
Nice.
That is actually very pretty.
That's a nicer one than I have.
Yeah, I'll get you one of these.
Thank you. It looks like a special edition.
And you actually can track your sleep, which is fascinating because we track our movements.
Yeah.
We track what we eat. And a large majority of people also want to track their sleep, but they haven't done so yet. So that's a great opportunity for any new entrepreneurs here who want to get into that business.
Yeah.
As you know, technology and healthcare is just a huge area for the tech world.
I know, it's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
Another thing that's exciting, especially because I run the video team at TechCrunch, so this is near and dear to me, is video and how people consume video on the web. And HuffPo Live recently changed strategy. You were doing 8 hours of live video per day. It was very much the cable network model. And you're not doing that anymore.
No, what we are doing now, we are doing live when it's warranted. Like when it's a big debate, when it's the Oscars. But otherwise, instead of doing live in order to produce VOD, we are going directly to VOD.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, as you know perfectly well, is that more and more content is not consumed on our site.
Right.
It's consumed in social media. It's consumed on Facebook, on Snapchat. And so it's actually much more effective for us to integrate all our video units. And when it comes to distributed content, produce directly for distributed content.
Is live streaming for long periods, sustained periods of time, not possible on the web?
I think it is possible when it's justified.
Right.
You know,
not Monday through Friday.
Not Monday through Friday. It has to be, we found, as legitimately necessary. And also, I think the most important innovation of HuffPost Live was engagement. You know, we are able to bring in viewers to participate, to ask questions, etc., and that will continue.
You also recently willingly accepted your writers into a union.
Yes.
And how does that change the day-to-day operations? How does that change the compensation structure?
Well, our writers and editors are all extremely fairly compensated because we are all in a competitive world.
Sure.
And what happens when you acknowledge the union, that's when the process starts of establishing what they call a bargaining unit. And that can take months. Like, you know, Vice, Gawker have also acknowledged the union, but they still don't have a functioning bargaining unit.
Right.
So that's where we are at now.
Okay, so this was something that you willingly decided was a good idea.
Well,
it keeps you competitive.
Yes, and also, you know, the majority of our editors and writers signed cards that they want to be part of the union. So it seemed absolutely right that since the majority of them want to be part of the union, we acknowledge them.
So there have been quite a few changes made to the Huffington Post, both on the video, the editorial side, which are both one big unit. I mean, how can not only TechCrunch, but anyone who's in this industry learn from what the changes that you've made over the last year?
Sarah, I think that's a very important question because, you know, at every tech conference you go, you hear people talking about we need to keep disrupting ourselves, otherwise we're going to be disrupted. How many times have you heard that?
We have a whole conference dedicated to that.
Right, exactly. So that's, for me, the one lesson I've learned running the Huffington Post for 10 years now. Constantly, we have to be disrupting ourselves. The Huffington Post now is unrecognizable compared to the Huffington Post 10 years ago or even the Huffington Post 2 years ago. The world is changing so fast and we need to be ahead of the changes. Whether it's in terms of social, mobile, global, you know, we are now in 15 countries. We want to be in 50 countries by the end of next year. These are sort of our big priorities, and doubling down on them is what I feel will allow us to remain ahead of what is happening in media. And also being true to our DNA. At HuffPost, we believe that we are really about three things. One is obviously covering news and opinion in our own way, like Trump is an example. The second is reimagining journalism, to focus not just on the crisis, but on solutions.
Right.
so that we can give a more accurate picture of the world. I mean, you cover a lot of solutions because you cover innovation, and innovation is one of the most exciting things happening. So covering small startups even that are doing great work and we can help them scale.
Sure.
Is a very important commitment from us. And the third one is helping people live lives with less stress and more productivity.
And sleeping.
And sleeping, yes. Because burnout is, as you know, a global
very
pandemic.
real.
And it doesn't make us productive.
Industry. Sure.
And you look around and you see all these executives, basically having heart attacks on their treadmills, like the CEO of United recently. And we need to stop that by recognizing that wellness and taking care of ourselves is actually a performance enhancement tool.
Well, I would love to talk more about health and fitness and tech with you, but I know that you have to run off to a dinner with Vice President Joe Biden, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But give Arianna Huffington a warm round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
After you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.